Hey, Grand Rising fan. Sometimes the inspiration hits you, sometimes it doesn't, but it should never be forced, whatever that inspiration is. Today, I was just doing this puzzle, and puzzle's always a good time. I don't usually interrupt my puzzle time or stop to make a video, but I did this time, and it's just I think it's obviously for a good reason, so let's talk about that. The idea that you're going to be successful if you don't listen to your coach, or you don't listen to whatever maybe mentor or advice that you hold in esteem or not. It's just a funny thing to think, right? That you are going to go against that order or your role or whatever it is that's expected of you, and think that you're going to have success, right, outside of that system, whether it's a hockey team or a office environment or whatever it is, right? Like, it's one thing to be constructively critical and help that process, but it's another thing to be toxic and detrimental to the whole team, to the point where nobody wants you on the team anymore. And that's a huge problem with a lot of people out there. So what's inspired this? I guess it's just when I'm having this debate, and it's like when you put someone in a position when they're not ready for it, how it can be detrimental to in fact more detrimental to them short-term and long-term than kind of easing them into it, or knowing that someone's not ready for something and throwing them in. Yeah, sometimes you'll swim, but a lot of times you'll sink, and people are fragile, and there's self-esteem, and there's 100 other issues going on. I just recently coached a soccer team, and I had players on my team that were uncomfortable with playing forward, and that's where they were at. And then there was players that were uncomfortable with playing forward, but they were willing once they felt better about themselves or the game or whatever it was. And as a coach, you have to be able to identify that, right? And not push them too soon, because you can scare them away or you can deter them for good. So knowing that, if you are in any of those positions where you feel like you're being forced or pressured into making a decision or changing a decision that is right, just think about it, right? Like, really just think about it. When you're right, you're right. There's nothing to fight about. And if you are the coach and you're in that position, there should be no, if everyone on the team understands the goal, and to get to the goal you need to play your role, then play your role, right? A lot of these problems out there are, people just not playing their role, or not knowing themselves enough to know that what their role even is, or what is their best role, right? So you've either got to know yourself or put yourself in that position where someone who does know you or knows your abilities can coach you or place you in the right position, right? Those things, they seem super logical to me, but for a lot of people, I'm learning that it's not really that way. And so how do you, I don't even know, it's such a huge subject, right? But I think it filters down. Like, I learned it all through sports. I wasn't alpha about any of it. I wasn't like, pick me. I wasn't, I have to be this or I won't play, or any of that kind of attitude. It was always like I was voted to be captain, or I was put into that leadership role, whether it was a job or whatever, through, I guess, my efforts, really, in the end, right? Like, whatever I could do is where I found myself. and it tended to be in that position. So, you know, I'm not perfect, and no one is, but when you've got a track record your whole life of being that person that everyone goes to, and like you coach people through their lowest moments, and you've helped them, and you meet strangers all the time, and like, don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt that, you know, you're drawing that into you, right? Like, that power is yours. It's not a random event. It's people reminding you. It's the universe reminding you that, right? Hey, you're the shit. You know some things, right? It's like, it explains, like, in a personal level, like, I end up in whatever city, I've never been there before, and people on the street are asking me for directions. And not only do they ask me for directions, I can actually give them, because I've done a little bit of studying beforehand usually, or I'm just mapping it on the way. And like, I had a crazy incident that happened recently, and I was in this new town or whatever city, and no idea where I was, but I noticed something as I was walking, and this next people asked me, do you know where this place is? And I had just logged it. So obviously, you know, remember your power. You are, if you're a leader, you're a leader. These are not taught things. You have to, you know, part of being that leader is the confidence in knowing that losing is part of winning, right? And that if you put people in that position too quick to lose, you can lose them forever. And you, like, if I had put certain players in positions that they weren't comfortable with, or players that weren't as skilled in giving them equal time with the skilled players, if you did that on any team, the odds are you're going to lose more than you would if you didn't do that, right? It's just the way it is. It's okay. Nobody on the team is upset that, you know, when they win a championship, that they won the championship, I don't think, right? Because everyone knows that to win a championship, everyone has to contribute, leave their egos out of the equation, and just do their job, right? Get it done. That's the real winners. It's the people that criticize all the way up and every day, and like, just they question the plan or the game plan, and they don't, even though there's a track record of winning, how can you continue to question the game plan or the coach or the, you know, those are people that in real life team situations, they would, you would trade them, or you would demote them, or you would fire them, or you would do something to get them out of the equation, right? And so a lot of times with family, you're not really in that same position where you can just, you know, trade away their rights, or, you know, get something back in return. You're kind of, you have to deal with these personalities, or learn how to cope with these personalities to get them to, you know, contribute the best they can to their strengths. That's what a good coach does. And so, you know, you don't just ignore someone on the bench and that's how you deal with it. You get them, okay, they're good at this and that, let's get them some ice time doing that, whatever it may be, right? Or, you know, the hockey analogy always comes through me, but it's that kind of stuff, that leadership stuff is, whether it's, like I said, whether it's an office or it's a sport or it's war or it's just playground, you know, rules. These are the way things break down. And I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's coming through. And if you know, the people that know will know, right? Your proof is in your fruit, right? The fruit shows the results, right? Not the how big the bush is or how nice the tree looks. It's about the fruits. And so just focus on your fruits. Don't let anybody get through and rattle you, that make you think you're any less than you are. And just keep on shining, keep on leading. And you know what's best for you. Don't let anybody tell you what's best for you. But if you do put your faith or your esteem in someone's opinion, be sure to, like, if you do respect them, you know, to follow it, or to be true to it, or to respectfully disagree. It doesn't have to be an argument. It doesn't have to be any of that, right? It can be, okay, you think I'm better at that. Well, I think this about myself. Not, you're wrong, right? It's got to be about, I know myself better than you know me, coach. And a lot of people don't actually get to that point where they're so self-aware. They're like, okay, tell me where I can improve, and then actually improve. Instead, they just surround themselves with yes people that tell them they're great, and they can live in that bubble forever. So keep popping the bubble, your own bubble, right? Stay grounded, stay authentic, stay true, and stay you. I love you.